Subtle confidence is one of the most powerful and dangerously seductive qualities a woman can possess because it operates beneath the surface. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It's not about grand gestures or overt displays of self-importance, but rather an effortless assurance that comes from knowing one's value without needing to prove it. This quiet kind of confidence doesn't demand attention, it simply draws it in. Men, consciously or not, find themselves captivated by it because it exudes a rare blend of strength, serenity, and self-control that can't easily be faked. When a woman walks into a room and carries herself with grace, poise, and calm assurance, she sends an unspoken message: I belong here. It's not about arrogance or dominance, it's about presence. The way she holds her posture, meets eyes, and listens before speaking all reflect a deep sense of inner stability. This subtle self-assurance is alluring because it suggests emotional maturity. It signals to men that she is not looking to be rescued, validated, or approved of. She already knows her worth. In a world where so many people seek external affirmation, this kind of inner centeredness feels magnetic and even a little dangerous because it shifts the usual power dynamics of attraction. Men are instinctively drawn to confidence because it reflects strength. But subtle confidence, soft-spoken, calm, and self-contained, adds a layer of mystery. It makes a man wonder what fuels that quiet power. Unlike overt confidence, which can sometimes feel performative or intimidating, subtle confidence feels intimate. It draws him closer, inviting him to understand her world rather than compete with it. This kind of presence challenges him to rise to her level, to meet her emotional steadiness with equal respect and authenticity. The danger lies in how effortlessly it can disarm. A woman who knows who she is doesn't need to chase affection or manipulate attention. Her energy alone is enough to shift the dynamic around her. Men often describe such women as having an aura, something they can't quite explain but can deeply feel. It's that quiet poise, the soft smile that suggests she knows more than she lets on, the calm confidence that doesn't falter under pressure. She doesn't dominate the conversation, she enhances it. She listens with interest but doesn't bend herself to please. She can enjoy admiration without becoming defined by it. Subtle confidence also changes the emotional temperature of an interaction. Instead of creating tension through drama or neediness, it builds tension through calm unpredictability. That men don't know what to expect because she's not reacting in the usual ways. They can't easily read or control her emotional landscape. This unpredictability, rooted in composure, makes her intriguing. A woman who doesn't chase or cling, but who simply is, creates space for men to pursue her voluntarily. Her detachment doesn't come from coldness, but from security. That's what makes her dangerously seductive. She evokes desire while remaining emotionally untouchable unless she chooses otherwise. Confidence at this level doesn't mean being flawless or invulnerable. In fact, it often comes from having faced failure, rejection, and doubt, but learning to rise from them with dignity. It's the quiet resilience of someone who has made peace with herself. Men can sense when a woman carries that kind of emotional armor beneath her softness. It gives her a depth that surface level charm cannot replicate. Her self-trust becomes the foundation of her allure. When she speaks, it's not about impressing others, it's about expressing what she truly believes. That honesty, paired with calm assurance, becomes intoxicating. What makes this confidence particularly powerful is that it doesn't seek to dominate, it invites harmony. It inspires trust and admiration. Men feel safer around a woman who doesn't react out of insecurity, who can hold space for both connection and independence. But at the same time, it unsettles them because her peace cannot be bought or swayed. She doesn't revolve around anyone else's validation, and that makes her a challenge. Men are used to attention being transactional, compliments given, reactions received. But subtle confidence breaks that pattern. She doesn't play games, and she doesn't over-explain. Her restraint speaks louder than words. Ultimately, the power of subtle confidence lies in its natural balance. It's strong yet gentle, independent yet open, calm yet deeply alive. It's a reminder that seduction doesn't always require performance. It can live quietly in the spaces between words, in the slow gaze that lingers just long enough, in the soft tone of someone who knows her own gravity. Men find this dangerously seductive because it awakens something primal, respect mixed with desire. They want to be close to it, to understand it, perhaps even to earn it. But deep down, they know they can't control it. That awareness, the realization that she chooses rather than chases, is what makes subtle confidence the most irresistible and dangerous form of allure. Mystery and emotional depth form one of the most dangerously seductive combinations a woman can possess because they awaken a man's curiosity and imagination. Mystery is not about hiding who you are, it's about revealing yourself slowly, with intention. Emotional depth adds substance to that mystery. It's what makes a woman's silence meaningful and her presence unforgettable. Together, they create a sense of intrigue that can pull someone in without a single word being spoken. Men often describe it as a kind of magnetic pull, something they can't quite define but can't stop thinking about either. A woman who carries mystery doesn't rush to fill every silence. She allows moments to breathe. Her calm stillness suggests that her inner world is vast and complex, that there are thoughts and stories behind her eyes that she's not offering freely. This restraint ignites a man's natural instinct to explore and understand. The more she holds back, the more he wants to know. It's not manipulation, it's magnetism. She's comfortable in her own company, unafraid of being partially unknown, because she knows her worth isn't dependent on full disclosure. That quiet control over what she reveals creates tension, and tension is at the heart of attraction. Mystery doesn't mean emotional coldness or detachment. It means she is selective with her energy. She shares her world in fragments, in stories told halfway, in glances that linger and smiles that fade too soon. Men sense there is more beneath the surface, and that realization stirs their imagination. They begin to project, to fill in the blanks with their own fantasies and assumptions. The mind becomes addicted to what it cannot fully grasp. When a woman cultivates mystery, she isn't playing a game, she's simply living with self-awareness, allowing others to approach her depth at their own pace. Emotional depth intensifies that attraction. A woman who feels deeply, who perceives the world through layers of empathy and intuition, brings a kind of richness to her presence that can't be replicated. She doesn't skim the surface of experiences, she absorbs them. When she speaks, there's weight in her words because they come from reflection, not impulse. Men are drawn to that kind of emotional authenticity because it contrasts sharply with superficiality. Depth feels rare, almost sacred, in a world obsessed with immediacy and appearances. The combination of mystery and depth makes her unpredictable in the most compelling way. One moment, she might laugh freely, and the next, her eyes might reveal a quiet sadness that she doesn't explain. This emotional contrast keeps a man intrigued. He senses layers that he hasn't yet uncovered. Her complexity becomes an unspoken invitation to explore, but only if he's willing to move beyond surface level attraction. There's a kind of danger in that invitation because it demands vulnerability. To truly connect with someone who possesses emotional depth, a man must also be willing to confront his own emotions. That's what makes her allure powerful. She doesn't just attract attention, she awakens introspection. Mystery and emotional depth also create a sense of timelessness in how she engages with the world. She's not caught up in trends or external validation. She moves at her own rhythm. Men find this independence of spirit fascinating because it hints at inner peace and strength. She's not performing for anyone. Her mystery isn't about being distant. It's about being rooted. She doesn't need to be fully understood to feel seen. She values connection over attention. This quiet integrity commands respect before it sparks desire, and when both combine, the effect is magnetic. There's also a spiritual quality to emotional depth that men find intoxicating. When a woman is attuned to her emotions, when she expresses them through subtle gestures, pauses, or even silence, she creates an atmosphere that feels almost sacred. Her presence becomes grounding, her gaze a mirror. Men feel that she sees through them, not just at them. That depth can be unsettling because it exposes truths that words often hide. It makes her presence impossible to forget even when she's gone. The danger of this allure lies in its emotional gravity. Mystery and depth pull people in, sometimes beyond their control. A man might find himself thinking about her long after they part ways, replaying small moments, trying to decode her expressions. The fact that she remains partly unknown keeps the connection alive in his mind. The absence of full understanding becomes its own kind of addiction. She doesn't need to chase or persuade. Her mystery does the work for her. Ultimately, what makes mystery and emotional depth so seductively powerful is the balance they strike between distance and intimacy. She gives enough to connect, but never enough to be completely deciphered. Men crave that equilibrium because it challenges them emotionally and mentally. They sense that her depth is not for everyone. It must be earned through patience, trust, and sincerity. That scarcity makes it all the more valuable. In the end, a woman with mystery and emotional depth doesn't rely on appearance or charm to attract. Her allure is woven into her energy, her silence, her way of perceiving the world. She embodies the paradox of being open yet unreachable, tender yet guarded, expressive yet reserved. Men find this dangerously seductive not just because it excites them, because it humbles them. It reminds them that true beauty lies not in what's seen, but in what remains to be discovered. Authentic femininity and vulnerability possess a kind of seductive power that doesn't come from performance, perfection, or manipulation. It comes from truth. In a world where so much attention is placed on appearance, control, and image, a woman who embraces her genuine femininity and allows herself to be seen as she truly is becomes magnetic in a way that's both gentle and disarming. Authentic femininity is not about being weak, submissive, or overly agreeable. It's about being in tune with one's emotions, intuition, and nurturing energy while still remaining strong, self-respecting, and grounded. When a woman moves through life with this balance, soft but firm, kind but clear, vulnerable but self-possessed, she creates a kind of emotional frequency that men find deeply alluring and, at times, even dangerous because it challenges their usual defenses. True femininity doesn't rely on imitation or trends. It's not about copying what others find attractive. It's about embodying one's natural essence with confidence. It's expressed in the way a woman speaks with empathy, the way she listens without judgment, or the way she carries warmth in her tone and gestures. Authentic femininity radiates peace, compassion, and grace, but it also holds an inner strength that cannot be shaken. This blend of warmth and resilience invites men to let their guard down, to feel safe and seen. Yet it also stirs a kind of tension within them, the realization that such emotional intelligence is powerful enough to influence without demanding, to inspire without trying. Vulnerability, when paired with authenticity, adds emotional depth to femininity. It's not about oversharing or weakness. It's about emotional honesty. It's the courage to say, "This is how I feel," without shame or fear. Men are instinctively drawn to that kind of openness because it reveals something real, something human. It's rare to encounter someone who isn't hiding behind a mask of control or perfection. A woman who can admit uncertainty, show emotion, or express care without calculating how it will be received demonstrates a profound kind of strength. That vulnerability becomes seductive because it invites connection. It allows others to drop their own armor. What makes this combination dangerous is how it blurs emotional boundaries in the best possible way. A man might find himself wanting to protect her, yet also deeply respecting her independence. He feels moved by her softness, yet impressed by her stability. She doesn't manipulate through tears or neediness. She influences through emotional authenticity. Her vulnerability becomes an act of courage, not a cry for rescue. This dynamic awakens something instinctive, an urge to nurture, to understand, to cherish. But beneath that instinct lies admiration, because men recognize that real vulnerability takes more strength than hiding ever could. Authentic femininity also teaches the beauty of receptivity. While society often glorifies constant striving and control, true feminine energy flows. It receives, listens, and allows life to unfold. When a woman trusts this rhythm, she embodies calm confidence. She doesn't chase love, she attracts it. Her vulnerability doesn't make her dependent, it makes her relatable and real. Men find that combination irresistibly human. They sense that she's not playing a part, but living in truth, and that honesty has a gravitational pull that no pretense can match. This kind of woman doesn't seek power through dominance or competition. Her power is quiet but undeniable. She influences not by force but by presence. The way she nurtures others, holds eye contact, or responds with compassion all communicate a kind of emotional wisdom that feels timeless. Men feel both comforted and challenged by it. Comforted because she radiates safety and acceptance, challenged because she mirrors back authenticity. Her openness invites honesty in return, and that can be both healing and intimidating. Vulnerability also deepens emotional intimacy. When a woman allows herself to be seen, her fears, her dreams, her uncertainties, she gives others permission to be real too. That level of connection goes beyond physical attraction, it becomes spiritual. Men are drawn to that space because it feels rare and sacred, a kind of intimacy that can't be found through performance or games. It's the difference between attraction that burns fast and connection that lingers. Vulnerability, in this sense, becomes the heartbeat of true seduction. It creates trust, curiosity, and emotional resonance that endures long after the first encounter. The danger of authentic femininity and vulnerability lies in how unforgettable it is. Once a man experiences a woman who embodies both, it becomes nearly impossible to settle for anything less. Her presence lingers not because she demanded attention, but because she awakened something within him, a reminder of how powerful softness can be. She becomes a symbol of emotional truth, of beauty that doesn't depend on perfection, but on presence. Ultimately, authentic femininity and vulnerability are not tools of seduction, they are states of being that naturally attract. They draw people in through sincerity, depth, and emotional courage. A woman who embraces these qualities doesn't fear her emotions, she honors them. She doesn't hide her tenderness behind strength, she fuses the two. That fusion makes her captivating. Men find it dangerously seductive not because it manipulates desire, but because it reveals the truth of connection, the kind that feels both grounding and transcendent. In her authenticity, she becomes not only desirable but unforgettable because she represents something rare, the courage to be fully human in a world that often tells us to be anything but.